The Polandball subreddit has had another monthly contest, this time revolving around Botany, and here's a showcase of the top 10 entries from that contest. And as always, with everything shown on this channel, if a comic is showcased on here, that means we have asked for and received explicit permission from the creator to showcase their artwork. In 10th place, we have Great Polish Agriculture by Kimichika 1588. Poland it is. Today tell how agriculturing and rich nice be. Good farm to many water. Water nearest river water is best. Plant ash, make nice to crop. So put. Maybe crop must psycho. Plus fertilizes. Corpse and poop is be. Skilled Poland use Portugalski, because it will both. Final seed what like? Oh no. Yes, eu carnivorous plant. Now predator you. Least Poland become no need think starves. So, as one of the moderators of the subreddit, I am actually one of the people who vote on the contest entries as well. Now that the contest is over and it's resolved, I'll tell everyone that this was my highest rated comic. I gave full 10 points to this one. Unfortunately, it only hit 10th place, so I guess I liked it more than everyone else did. I don't know. I want to talk about this comic. I want to gush about this comic for a bit because this comic features something that I think is really important to be good at, and that is so-called Polandball speak, or Polandball English, as it were. You know how subcultures sort of go in levels, that you have your originators, and then you have the first generation of people who copy the originators, and then you have the next generation who copy the first generation, and then you get copies after copies after copies, and things tend to get a bit more sort of diluted after a while. Things settle down into tropes and established ways of doing things, and you don't see as much originality anymore. People just sort of rehash what people in the past have already hammered out. And regarding Polandball speak itself, the way you write dialogue in Polandball comics, so much of it has just devolved into what we refer to as is off into ings. Which is that you just put these things into it's just normal English grammar, but then you put is off. So you don't say, oh, Poland is hungry. You say Poland is off hungry. So Poland is off go to McDonald's to is off get an is off hamburger. It's no, it's into as well. So it's Poland is off go into McDonald's for hamburgerings. And it's shit, right? That's not how you're supposed to write it. It's that's just become the narrative trope, the way people you just repeat it, and then people go like trained monkeys go, oh, this is where they say is off into ings, this is where I'm supposed to laugh. But no, you're supposed to write comics like it's someone who's not good at English trying to speak English. So any country that doesn't have English as an official language should be speaking with broken grammar, which is just there's so many good ways of doing it. You can take your own native grammatical rules and you apply them to English. So it's it would be if Poland is speaking English but using Polish grammar, right? So everything gets completely messed up. Or if you just can't think of the right word, so you try to improvise and pick something else that's sort of adjacent to it, or just using the wrong word. For example, in this comic, whereas crops must cycle, but he writes that they must psycho instead, because he just couldn't figure out the right word, or thought that was the right word, or mixing up tempus forms, or conjugating verbs the wrong way. There's just so many good ways of doing it, and this comic I feel is sort of a masterclass in it. There's this really, really funny dialogue, maybe too good. Maybe the Polandball broken English was too good, so people even struggled to read it a little bit. I don't know, but I love it. This comic's also chock full of little references to Polandball lore. My favorite one being the Portugal failure trophy, which is a reference to another comic made by the next person, the guy who came in 9th place. And just one of those classic comics about how Portugal is the worst, shittiest, most useless country in the world, and it gets awarded with that trophy in the end. So yeah, great comic. I was hoping for it to score even higher than it did, but it did finish in the top 10, so that's pretty cool. 9th place, Morivivi by FVBLT. Really old school content creator. Been around for years, made a lot of legendary comics, some really, really, really good stuff. Hell yeah, I'm ready to hit the fucking beach. See? I'm always happy for you to come and visit and inject few measly tourism dollars into local economy. Whenever I remember you exist, I will be there. Now let's go get some beach margs. I do love me some beach margs. Whoa, wait, hold on, what's wrong? Why do we stop? Sorry, but I promise you will loving this. Look at this plant called Morivivi. My Spanish is kind of rusty, but doesn't that mean like dead alive or something? Kind of metal name for a plant. Is it poisonous? No, it's much cooler. Watch what happens when I poke with stick. Whoop! Holy shit, that's fucking awesome. It's cool, no? Plant is shrivel up when touched to look dead. And then is come back to life after a few minutes. Is what I call Morivivi. Can you do that too? Can I what? Shik! Go on, do it. Come back to life. Esperierta borinquenio che har esperierta de se la marbo simpatico. Whoa, that was awesome. Yeah, it looked like I can. Hell yeah, now let's go get those beach margs. Beach margs. So this one's like sort of just cute and uplifting and it's on a happy note. I think the reason why this comic didn't score any higher is because, you know, it sort of doesn't really go anywhere. It's a bit of a trifle. It's sort of just kind of neutral and quaint and pleasant. It's got this little story with USA and Puerto Rico, but it's not like particularly biting other than USA kind of acting like an asshole. I'm gonna say like it feels a bit safe as far as writing goes. I know FVBLT can make like way more biting stuff than this. It's good though. You like FVBLT never misses. 8th place, Indon's Love Quest by What Is Grass Even? Singapore, I wish to have meaningful relationship and also the sex with this girl. Seeing as Kamu engage in procreation on hourly basis, I come toward you for advice. For $300,000 in only inflation-resistant solid gold, I grant this advice. Big, large, bizarre, chicks in love with the huge of all kinds. So, I call a walk here to give flower as token of my love confession. Wowie zowie, what flower? The biggest flower in the world! Oh my Allah, I cannot believe I cock by flower. So haram. So we're gonna see like a common theme in this botany contest that a lot of people went with jokes centered around like corpse flowers, which is like the biggest flowers in the world that actually have tendrils that they like suck the life out of, like only other plants, but still they're kind of nasty and spooky and scary. And this comic also went in the nasty, spooky, scary direction. Love the art. What Is Grass even has some of the best art in the entire subreddit, but kind of stumbled on the finish line, I'm gonna say here. Whereas like you could have probably done a funnier punchline. This comic feels like the first third is good, the second third is great, and the final third is merely okay, sort of. And in 7th place is me, with the comic The Punchline is Piss. This is the maple leaf, the iconic symbol of Canada, and it represents my love for guzzling maple syrup down my throat. The national flower of Nihon be cherry blossom, for no thing makes better than sakura petals to rain all over your face. This is national flower of Thailand, it called golden shower. Fascinating! What does that say about you, buddy? How does it define you, Thailand? So yeah, that's it. Just a short and sweet little comic. I went to Thailand to train Thai boxing like 10 years ago, more than that. And on like the final couple of days, we went to Bangkok and, you know, just partied for a couple of days and just saw the sights in the city. Went on a riverboat tour, and we have this guide lady who's proudly proclaiming to us that the national flower of Thailand is in fact called the golden shower, not knowing what the connotation for that is in English. Me and my buddy, we had a really hard time holding back our laughter when we heard that. So for those of you who don't know, you can go to Urban Dictionary and Google golden shower if you want to know what that is. What that is, it's piss. Getting a golden shower is a sexual thing of people who like peeing on each other as a sexual act. You call that giving someone a golden shower. And you know, Thailand has many times in Polandball comics been portrayed as a country of debauchery and illicit sexual acts. So I figured, you know, the comic sort of writes itself. I was actually hoping for a bit of a higher position than this, but because I thought it was good. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just that like kids today are too pure. That no one knows what a golden shower is, so the punchline flew over their heads. It's funny how like every generation is like, yeah, the kids today are messed up. Back in my day, we weren't this messed up. Back in my day, we didn't have sex until we were 30 years old. But kids today are eating ass when they're 13. I don't know. No, they're not doing that. I hope. Maybe they are. But every generation says that the next generation is out of control and getting crazier and crazier and crazier. But then something happened, and like the newest generation, like sort of Gen Alpha, is going sort of in a different direction of like they're not into the party lifestyle and sex and drugs and rock and roll. Now they just sort of want to sit and play video games and hang out and save the planet. And that's probably fine. That's probably good. That's good that the new kids on the block are have their heads screwed on straighter than the previous ones. Unfortunately, that also meant that my piss comic didn't win the contest. 6th place, Bonsai by Marzipan Bread. Privet, Japonia. What are that? Is bonsai? Bonsai? Bonsai is art of takes cutting and put in tiny container, then cultivates into mini kawaii version this. Like this? No, more like this. So, funny comic, quaint, charming. I think the reason why this one didn't score higher is sort of because there was a bit of confusion around like just the roles involved. Since it's like Moldova is not a mini version of Russia and Taiwan is not a mini version of Japan, so maybe it should have been like Romania and China instead, like as the people talking in the comic. Like the joke still works. I think maybe if you just wrote this comic a little bit differently, then it could have landed slightly better. That being said, like, you know, it is Japan, and Japan is the one who does the bonsai trees, so it had to be Japan in that role. I don't know, it was good, but it landed in 6th place, like just outside of the top 5. 5th place, A Guide to Growing Fleur-De-Lis by Doodle Roar. Step 1, acquire a Umayyad Caliphate. So, like, people use this occasionally in comics, mostly just because it has a blank white flag. No one knows anything about the Umayyad Empire otherwise. This will be how you grow your flowers, so this step is by far the most important. Confirm that you have an Umayyad Caliphate by poking the country gently with a stick and listening to the ensuing tantrum. If what you hear next is Arabic, calm your country and proceed. If you hear French, discard the country and recalibrate your time machine. Yes, the French flag has at times been pure white as well, which is funny. Haha, white flag, France as surrender monkeys. It is funny that at some point in their history, their flag was actually a white flag. Yes, there have already been like 1,000 Polandball comics about that specific subject. So after hearing this, if you want to like run off and make your own comic about France having a white flag, don't worry, it's been done. Step 2. Plant the caliphate. For ideal results, plant the country near a constant source of fresh water, ideally some kind of river during summertime, and make sure it is covered at least partially in damp soil. If your country resists such efforts, simply place a black flag nearby until it quiets down. Step 3. Water your planter with wine. The quality of the wine does not matter, but its price tag does. The more expensive the bottle, the quicker the Fleur-De-Lis will begin to grow. Important footnote, do not substitute whiskey for wine ever. This will permanently handicap your planter and result in an infertile, incontinent Frenchman who still thinks he's royalty and will demand to be treated appropriately. Example specimen shown here. Whee! Step 4. Fertilize the planter with ash. Optional. Any ash will do so long as it's not volcanic, though studies seem to show that cigarette ash works best. See, because we're going with French stereotypes here, with shitty expensive wine and cigarettes. If by now your planter has begun growing yellow spots and attracting wildlife, do not worry. That means your flowers are growing well and the planter has begun attracting its own fertilizer. Feel free to skip step 4 entirely if so. It's eating frogs. Step 5. Carefully harvest the crop and continue to care for your planter. See, yes, France also at one point had a flag that looks like this. It's kind of cool. kind of cool, just a white flag with a bunch of Fleur-De-Lis on it. Your Umayyad Caliphate should now speak fluent French and be covered in Fleur-De-Lis. If so, congratulations, you now have a self-perpetuating source of Fleur-De-Lis to pick from at your leisure. Now it is important to note that once you pick all the Fleur-De-Lis from your planter, it will take 16 years to regrow a batch. Thus we strongly recommend that those who want Fleur-De-Lis ready on a regular basis keep multiple of these planters simultaneously. Just make sure to keep those planters separate from each other when you do. Ah, French Revolution gag. Also, it took me way too long to realize that the joke about whiskey is a reference to Bourbon, France. So if you ask my opinion about this comic, it's very well written, it's very well drawn, it's charming. I especially like the handwriting. But for me, the stumbling block is just that like it's clever, right? It's clever, it's creative. I just didn't think it was very funny. I don't know, it's just the joke didn't really land for me. But 5th place. 4th place, The Girlfriend Tree by Zemo Nitro. Yes, famous YouTuber Zemo Nitro. He also does Polandball comics, bet you didn't know that. Australia-san, how into GF? Oh, that's a rough one, mate. It's not like girlfriends grow on trees. Aww. Or does? Suppings, Australia. I just chill with my girlfriend. Mate, your girlfriend is a vegetable. Ah. So if you're wondering the context for this comic, there sort of really isn't one. Zemo explained himself in the comment section that this comic was sort of just meant to be a bit random. It can represent how Japan likes to anthropomorphize inanimate objects in animes and stuff, or just like how Japan is bad with women. But it is, this comic is a bit sort of just like, you know, random for the sake of random. People did like it though. People did get a kick out of it. It wasn't exactly my cup of tea, and you can also sort of tell by like the art style that Zemo shit this one out pretty quickly. So he's probably happy about just like the 4th place that he got for this. I feel like he kind of just got away with this one. And now for the top 3. 3rd place, Farmer's Blessings by El Felipe01. Got hungry, watering his red bell peppers. Boop! What in curva? Hello! I am Romani Flower Fairy of Good Fortune Harvestings. Would like to receive blessings for extra bountiful harvest and help end hunger in minorities populations? Bonk, 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 bonk. Paprika. So like the joke is obviously just that Hungary is obsessed with paprika. There have been a couple of really good comics about that premise. So anything that's in his flower pot, he just grinds it down into paprika. And I guess just sort of a twist on how like a lot of, especially like Eastern European countries, Western Europe as well, but Eastern European countries definitely, how much they sort of like just hated the Romani people and just treat them badly. Fun fact, bell peppers are actually not the most common peppers in Hungary, so that's like a little tell that that the person making this comic is not from Hungary themselves. It's like that thing from from Inglourious Bastards about like how you raise your fingers to order beers, being a tell that you're not actually German. 2nd place, Botanical Burgers by Bioeditor, who has actually been a guest on one of our podcasts. Go listen to the podcast episode with Bioeditor. Where's my burger at, Pointy China? Yeah, I'm the coming. Oh yeah. Damn, this is a mighty fine burger. You gotta tell me the recipe, man. It's plant-based, la? Plant what now? You know, to of cutting emissions and save environment. Nobody move! This is an imperialism! Ah! Okay, no funny business, Japan. Nice and easy. Just tell me where the hamburger tree is. Bioeditor is kind of new to the subreddit, sort of a rising star. Just been around for like 2 months at this point, but already like people know who it is and he pumps out really good comics. Art style is really cool. I love how he draws movement and like dynamic panels with the burger chewing. Good use of perspectives and everything. I think my favorite detail about this one is the last panel, where he actually uses a movement line to sort of look like an arm, or like to function as an arm, for showing how USA is holding the gun. I think most people who drew that panel would just draw USA in the gun. They wouldn't draw the movement line to give it that extra visual clarity of like what is going on. Like that's smart, and that shows that this is someone who like knows what they're doing when they're drawing. Didn't win this month by the closest of margins, by the absolute closest of margins. They came in second place, but Bioeditor is gonna win a contest eventually. It's a matter of when, not if. Which brings us to this month's winning contest entry, Whoopsie-Daisy, by this channel's very own Kolai, with a comic that he actually drew live on stream on this YouTube channel. Japan, your planties make flower. Very good, you get A+. Korea, your planties also make flower. Good for. A+ is for you. China plant make flower also as well? China am not understand assignment. Don't sneezing, please. So yes, it's a pun. It's a silly pun, but it's like, this is just a good... I'm gonna say, like, look at this comic for sort of comedic pacing and how you deliver a joke. Where you have the first 2 panels showing the setup of like what the assignment is. You have the middle panels sort of like hinting at something to come and setting up the tension of like what is going on, why is China reacting this way? And then the final 2 panels has the delivery of the punchline. It lands, it's snappy, it's got like the exact right pace for when you read the comic, so that like when the punchline it hits right when it's supposed to. You get this funny payoff. Like, it's just altogether smart writing. Well-deserved winner. Kolai is one of those guys who's like a super veteran in the Polandball community. He showed up like around the same time that me and Aaron C14 did and started making Polandball comics, which is about like, geez, what is it now? Like 12 years ago, 13 years ago. I think we all sort of showed up in the subreddit like a month from each other. And then he went on hiatus for a long time, and he returned very recently and just sort of like picked it up again, especially with this YouTube channel, which is sort of like reignited his passion for a lot of these drawings. Which means that this is actually Kolai's first contest win in one of the subreddit's monthly contests since 2016. Like 8 years ago that he last won a monthly contest. So big congratulations to Kolai for winning. And you know, like on a personal note, this should tell you people that, you know, this channel is where it's at. This is a channel to follow, our YouTube channel, right? Out of the top 10 of this latest monthly contest, we have 3 people who have been featured on this YouTube channel. And you know that like a bunch of other content creators on YouTube are just gonna take these comics and just do their own shitty fucking reaction videos from them. They're not gonna ask anyone for permission. They're not actually part of this community. They just take stuff from it and profiteer from it, never giving a fucking dime to any of the creators who actually made the comics in the first place, nor do they even bother to ask if they can feature these comics in the first place or not. But hey, that's a video for another day. For now, this was the latest monthly contest in the Polandball subreddit. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed content like this, we are pumping it out at a steady pace. We're gonna pick up the pace a little bit more in the coming days. We're gonna get more videos like this, more reviews and showcases, more Polandball news. It's coming your way. We're gonna ramp up production on that one because you guys really like that, and we've noticed that you guys really like that. So we're gonna put focus on like banging out more of those. Got some cool like big video essays along the way as well. So if that sounds exciting to you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button to stay tuned for more, because there's gonna be more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again some other time for something completely different.